Welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We have second quarter results from Qualcomm. Second fiscal quarter for this company did end at the end of March. This is the business story behind one stock on the move. That stock is Qualcomm. Is it moving? Yeah, it's moving a little. Quarter was a little bit better than Wall Street expected. The guidance certainly was. And there were fears that it could be a lot worse. Here's what the business actually did, the actual numbers. So we saw revenues of $9.4 billion, up 1%. Earnings before taxes and stuff, $2.5 billion, up 32%. That's a really fantastic quarter from this company. We're going to look a little bit deeper into the results beyond those headlines. So yeah, recovering sales. They were better last quarter. They were better this quarter than they had been for the previous 6 months. And even though it's not a huge improvement, anything better than what they had been is good. The down direction is not a good direction. The up direction they like, and they certainly like the up direction when it comes to operating profit margins. My goodness, 25% EBIT margins in the quarter, really strong for this company. The results were led, as they always are at Qualcomm, by smartphones. So smartphones is still a majority of their business, 77% of their business. And when smartphones recovered even a little bit, that certainly, there was a 1% improvement in the smartphone business for them on a year-over-year basis. That's good news for Qualcomm. They need that to do well, even as they continue to work gradually on diversification. And the addition of an IoT business, the addition of the automotive business in particular, helping them. And there was a lot of talk on the conference call about the automotive business. We'll get into that in a second, but I wanted you to see what the stock chart did afterwards. So initially, after the numbers came out, the stock traded up and kind of held about 4% in after-hours trading. And it's after a 42% gain over the course of the year. So the stock has been really strong for some time and kind of hanging in there right now. Now, during the conference calls I mentioned, lots of talk about all of the things that chips are going to allow devices, not just smartphones, to do in the future. And CEO Cristiano Amon was asked about, what is AI going to look like? What kind of devices are we talking about here going forward? And do we really need AI on our phones, AI in our cars, AI everywhere? Well, he suggested we start to think about what it was like when we first got smartphones, and we didn't really know what the killer apps were going to be. But the kind of development and the kind of changes that we saw with smartphones are exactly what we're going to see going forward with AI at the edge.
So we're at the beginning of that transition. We really like what we see because it's really creating reason for people to buy a new device. It's going to be the same on PCs. It's going to be the same as they come to cars as well, and industrial. So it's an exciting tailwind, I think, for our strategy of actually driving computing and connectivity at the edge.
So what's it all mean? How are you going to summarize these results and remember what happened here with Qualcomm? I'm going to give that to you, and one number that'll tell you everything you need to know about Qualcomm right after this.
The Drill Down is brought to you by Futurum Group, where analysts, researchers, advisors, content creators, and marketing experts help business leaders anticipate and understand shifts in their industries and build strategies to leverage disruptive innovation. With deep analysis, Futurum Group's extensive industry experience delivers reliable research and data, thought leadership, and actionable advice to help you with your strategy and go-to-market efforts. Futurum Group.
Second fiscal quarter results from Qualcomm, they were pretty good, $9.4 billion in revenues. Fantastic margins for this business and a lot of profit as well. Earnings before taxes, operating profits, if you will, $2.5 billion. So 1% increase in revenues, but a 32% increase in profits. Who wouldn't take that? And the one number that tells you a whole lot is just that. Number one. Company had handsets nudging up results with 1% growth in handset-related chips and chip licensing, 1% growth for overall in the revenues, and a decent quarter from Qualcomm, which investors will take. All right, thanks for listening to Drill Down Earnings. Check me out on X at Cory TV, at Drill Down Pod, on TikTok and on Instagram, and robust earnings reports on Futurum's YouTube channel. Drill Down Earnings, part of 6.5 Media.